welcome back to our celebration of the 79th anniversary of Indonesia's Independence Day. And you're still with us, with me, Valerina Daniel, and my partner here.
I'm Rahmat Idris. We are still going around the world just to see the excitement. And right now we are heading to the Russian Federations as we are now joined by the Ambassador of the Republic of Indonesia to Russia, based in Moscow right now, joining us all the way from the capital, His Excellency Jose Tavares, Mr. Ambassador. What a day. It is so good to see you again. It felt like just yesterday I saw you at the embassy in Moscow. Thank you very much for joining us. And from Jakarta, happy Independence Day. Merdeka!
Merdeka, yes.
Mr.
Mas Rahmat and Mbak Siska, first of all, a happy Independence Day.
Yeah, it's Valerina right here in the studio, sir.
Right now, outside of the building. Of course, as usual, we have decorated the compound with red and white attributes.
Yeah.
And we organize various activities, sports activities, competition in football games, ping pong, volleyball, etc. And we also provide consular services for Indonesian citizens here. And we just finished the flag hoisting ceremony with all of these traditional dresses, costumes, colorful.
From my memory, from our short period of time being over at the embassy there, what I remember distinctly, Mr. Ambassador, was chef de cuisine of our Indonesian embassy over in Moscow. So what are the highlights of culinary that we are showcasing for the celebration this year?
Yeah, well, the culinary is, of course, Indonesian culinary. It's a lot of varieties here. I don't want to mention just a few, but people are outside and enjoying the food.
Most definitely, it was delicious.
All right, so, sir, I see that in the picture at the moment, we see that there are the flag hoisting groups. Can you tell us more about them? Who are they? Are they students in Russia?
Yes, they are students in Russia. They are from various regions of Indonesia. They are from Sumatra, Sulawesi, Java, Papua. So it's a lot of regions that they are representing. And they are studying here also for various faculties and disciplines that they are now studying in various universities in Russia.
Right. Ambassador Jose, one of the highlights and probably one of the most prominent occurrence just in the past years in pertaining to the relations between Indonesia and Russia was the recent meeting between the elect president of Indonesia, Prabowo Subianto, with the president of Russian Federation, Vladimir Putin. And you were there, we believe, in person to witness this historical moment. What were some of the biggest takeaways from this monumental meeting?
Well, I think, you see, Indonesia and Russia, we are old friends. I must say, old friends, a new era.
Yeah.
So Russia has helped Indonesia diplomatically and even militarily during our struggle for independence at the time. In the United Nations, for example, Russia have helped Indonesia for the recognition of the new proclaimed republic at the time. And now the president-elect, His Excellency, Mr. Prabowo Subianto, was here and meeting with President Putin, and they, of course, will strengthen the relationship forward with cooperative activities that are mutually beneficial, mutual respect. So this is very important with equal footing so that we can move forward. I think the president-elect has already say very important things and both sides mention it. And of course, we are here in the embassy and ready to follow up when the president-elect assumed his task as the president of the Republic of Indonesia in October.
Right. Well, Mr. Ambassador, one of the things that we do here every single year for the celebrations of Indonesia's independence is to look back in history. And pertaining to your posting over in Russia, we cannot look back, but the deep-rooted history of Indonesia and Russia dating back to the visits, historical visits of our founding father, Sukarno, to Russia, establishing the very beginning moments of our diplomatic and bilateral relations. Can you walk us through some of the most pivotal moments in history of First President Sukarno's of Indonesia's visit right where you are at the embassy to sort of blaze the path and a trailblazer, if I may say it that way, of our diplomatic relations?
Well, President Sukarno was here in Russia 4 times. 56, 59, 61, and 64. He was actually celebrating his birthday here just in the embassy of Indonesia. So it's a very historical place here. Since the president was here celebrating with high prominent dignitaries of the Soviet Union at the time. And of course, there are various cooperations that have undertaken at the time. For example, the Gelora Bung Karno was built at the instruction of the Soviet leader Nikita Khrushchev. Of course, President Sukarno wants this very similar to Luzhniki here, the stadium here in Moscow. That was replicated in Indonesia as a Gelora Bung Karno. I think many people in Indonesia doesn't know this.
Yeah.
So, and then, of course, President Sukarno also asked for Russia at the time, the Soviet Union, to build Krakatau Steel. I think this is the first transfer of technology that the Soviet Union actually helped Indonesia to build, which is until now, there is a great development of this Krakatau steel that we have. You see, there is a lot of monuments in Jakarta, even the Monas, the national monument of Indonesia, was held by the Russians. And also, you can see a road in Palangkaraya was built at the time, maybe more than 60 years already, and still utilized so far. So, Russians are very keen to continue the cooperation with Indonesia in various aspects, so that it is mutually beneficial and we can continue with our friendship cooperation forward. And I might add that in the context of the celebrating the Independence Day next week, we also have our reception day that will be attended by government officials as well as ambassadors and friends of Indonesia, as to engage further besides officially and also in terms of people to people as bridging for enhancing our cooperation forward in the near future.
Right. Just one final question pertaining to what you just said about our Indonesian diasporas being in Russia, sir. Russian Federation is a vast nation. We believe that the compositions is quite widespread across Russia, probably in St. Petersburg, in Tatarstan, other parts of Russia as well. Have you heard words from a fellow Indonesian diasporas on how they celebrate, they get together, and to have the sense of nationalism for the celebration, sir?
Yes, they do. For example, in St. Petersburg, they come together. Of course, they celebrate, except for the flag hosting. Of course, we just have it here in the embassy, but they're celebrating and come together. It is just to cultivate a kind of solidarity, togetherness, and the love for the motherland, Indonesia. So that, this kind of come together and celebration and singing national anthems, it is necessary so as to create some kind of consciousness that we have the responsibility and obligation to contribute our best to Indonesia's development. I think this not only in St. Petersburg, they are doing also in Vladivostok and Ekaterinburg, Kazan, and many places where Indonesian citizens are.
All right. Certainly exciting to hear that. Well, that's all the time that we have with you, Mr. Ambassador, His Excellency Jose Tavares, Ambassador of Indonesia to Russian Federation. Thank you very much, spasiba, Mr. Ambassador, for telling us this great story from Moscow. Again, a happy Independence Day to you and our Indonesians in Russia. Merdeka!
Merdeka, thank you very much.